Hello, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to my channel. This is Tiana's Thoughts. So, I'm here to talk about Ashanti's and Irv Gotti's relationship. And before we get into the stuff that is still, alleged, we can start from the beginning where it kind of started for both of them. So, Ashanti Douglas was born October 13th, 1980. She was born to her mother and father, Tina and Kincaid Douglas. She has a younger sister. And before we get to the whole Murder Inc. thing, we have to talk about how Ashanti established herself. So, Ashanti's mother discovered her full singing potential when she overheard Ashanti singing Mary J. Blige's Reminisce at the age of 12. While attending high school, Ashanti began writing songs, and she would also perform at local talent shows and at small festivals. She got her first taste of acting as a child in an extra in a Spike Lee film. She also had a couple of minor appearances in music videos as well. Ashanti really did have a hard time finding success as a singer after being signed or being courted by several record labels, including Bad Boy and Jive. She continued to perform despite the hardships that she had faced, and this is where she began hanging out at the Murder Inc. recording studios, where she would meet Irv Gotti. Irving Lorenzo Jr. was born June 26, 1970, in the Hollis neighborhood of the borough of Queens in New York City. After helping Def Jam with the success of DMX and Jay-Z, Russell Simmons gave Irv Gotti his own label under Def Jam. And this label would be called Murder Inc., where he would put on such acts as Ashanti, Ja Rule, Vita, Charlie Baltimore, Black Child, Ta Murda, and Nemesis, and several other artists as well. So let's now talk about Ashanti and Irv Gotti's relationship. Irv Gotti said he first noticed Ashanti hanging out at Murder Inc. studios, and that one day he gave her an opportunity to basically write a few hooks or write something. And she would come to the studio every day, and that's how their bond grew and a relationship began.
Wasn't fucking me to get a record deal. She got a record deal through a man, Mario Baeza, who was a mutual friend. He had her signed, and she worked for her deal. When I first met her, I said, yo, I'm doing JX and Ja. I ain't got no time to do no R&B. But here's what you could do. Just hang around, be in the studio, be a studio rat. She was in the studio every fucking day. That's how she got the Big Pun record, because people was calling me to do records. That's how she got What's Love.
But also, he said in the Murder Inc. documentary that he did for BET that he started to grow an attraction for her. And he describes in the documentary that she used to wear these juicy sweats and that her ass was looking fat. He then continued and said her ass was looking great. So one day, I was like, yo, I'll take you home. She said, bet, cool. He then describes as he's dropping her off, he walks her to her front door of her place. She turns around and says goodbye, and he said that he just kissed her and grabbed her ass. And it was like, what took you so long?
Used to wear these juicy sweats and her ass was looking fat. Her ass was looking great. So one day I was like, yo, I'll take you home. She said, bet, cool. Walk her to her front door of her crib. She turns to say goodbye. And I just kiss her and grab her ass. And just, mwah.
So that was their first interaction as far as romantically, from what he has said in the documentary. Now, Ashanti has basically said throughout the years that her and Irv Gotti's relationship was simply a work relationship and that she saw him as a big brother, but that they weren't necessarily in a relationship. But I'm gonna continue to go down the timeline of the relationship, and I'll come back to that thought at the end of the video. So at the time that their relationship had began, Irv Gotti was going through some marital issues with his first wife, Deb. And that was due to the fact that he had had some previous infidelities and that she was pretty much over his BS. So the relationship was non-existent at the time that him and Ashanti started their relationship. According to him, Irv Gotti knew that he had someone who was very talented that could be a part of Murder Inc. Records. So he decided to put Ashanti in the studio and that they were going to work on her debut album. But he also decided to put Ashanti and Ja Rule together because they had great musical chemistry and that they would be able to work well together. And it worked.
Let Bon Bon get on Always On Time.
They had major success, both Ja Rule and Ashanti.
They're really big fans of y'all.
I heard my princess wasn't feeling right.
So you become man.
Come on.
Oh, that's love. What's up, John?
Love right here. Ja Rule's in the house.
Oh, you.
What's that right
Okay, so
what does this represent?
Are you crying, boo? Oh, tell us what it represents.
It's my princess, y'all. The princess, you heard?
Oh,
What this is, hey, Kincaid, how you doing? Shanti's pops. But yo, what this is right here, me and my man Rule, we in Miami, we recording this album. But you know, we wanted to surprise our princess.
For sure.
She's Murder Inc. princess, but she's also all of y'all princess. All y'all black people.
That's right.
Listen, all y'all black people out there, this is y'all princess and y'all ride with that.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So we wanted to surprise her in everything. She went certified triple platinum. I want to thank all of y'all out there.
That's from y'all, baby.
That's the love. And we also wanted to thank Free, AJB,
everybody.
Melanie.
But as Ashanti's star grew and she became more successful, Irv Gotti became more controlling as far as business was concerned. Songs that Ashanti wanted to be on or that Ashanti had written and had sung were given to other artists like Jennifer Lopez.
Well, I demoed the record for her. That was way back. That was before I was signed to Murder Inc. And they kept my hook. And, you know, they kept some of the backgrounds and ad-libs and stuff like that. And it was funny. It was a bittersweet because I was really excited because it was J-Lo. You know what I mean? But I was so mad at Irv because I was like, you know I wanted that record. I always, ever since I saw Friday, you know what I mean? Mary Jane. I was like, you give me that. I want that record. I was so mad. But I was happy at the same time because it was.
And songs that she wanted to be featured on, she couldn't. Like Fabulous's Into You, which features Tamia, who sings the original song, So Into You. And Ashanti was supposed to be featured on there, but they had to go with Tamia because of some things concerning Murder Inc. So here are my thoughts on this whole entire situation. I feel that Irv Gotti thinks that Ashanti owes him because he basically was the one who put her in the studio and who gave her an opportunity.
I put that girl on.
Right.
I'm not saying it is braggadocious. It's real. I put her the fuck on. And the end rule by saying, yeah, she go ahead.
And I also feel as if Irv Gotti thinks or feels as if he owns Ashanti in a way. You know, he was the one who put her in the studio, he signed her, he gave her that opportunity, and she became as big as she was, or as big as she is. But let's be honest, the only reason why you gave her an opportunity, yes, Ashanti is very talented, is because you had an interest in her. and you started to develop some feelings towards her. Now, for this alleged romantic relationship with Ashanti, and I say alleged because Ashanti really still hasn't even admitted it, that she and Irv Gotti had some dealings with each other. She's kind of hinted at it, but for the most part, she was saying that they did not have a relationship like that. They did not have an intimate relationship. They were not boyfriend and girlfriend. That is the words that she has used. But I think recently she has kind of given us a little bit more context as to why she says that they were never in a full-fledged relationship or boyfriend and girlfriend.
A relationship. We dealt with each other, but having a full, like, was Irv my boyfriend? Was I his girlfriend? Never.
Really?
Never. So,
Well, was he married? He was still married at the time, right? He was married.
that's my point. Irv had several girlfriends, you know? So I'm a little confused by the thought, you know what I'm saying? And the label and the description.
I think that Irv Gotti saw it as more than what it was. He was someone who was going through a divorce. He was separated from his wife, and he was still married legally, but him and his wife were not together. And she was, like as he said back in the day, she was his princess, right? So he put everything into her, and I think that's why he feels as if you owe me. You owe me because I put everything into you. But it doesn't work like that. And the stuff that he's been doing is real lame to me. And it's lame for anyone to do it. I don't like when people kiss and tell. I think it's absolutely whack. And I think it's absolutely just lame on their part. But I think that he can't necessarily get over it because he probably still feels as if Ashanti owes him and that Ashanti is his property. So when you don't come and do the documentary, or when you don't come and sign off on a Murder Inc. tour or reunion or anything like that, it feels like a slap in the face to Irv Gotti.
And it's really dope, like we're doing the whole story, telling the whole story of Murder Inc. Ja will open and close the show. Fat Joe will be there, Fabulous, you know what I'm saying, possibly Jadakiss, Little Mo. The tricky thing with the Murder Inc. reunion tour is I really don't with some of them.
We know. Like who? We know. Do you want to say names or no?
I can say
or
names.
should I say names?
I say names. A piece of me, Angie, is like, I don't want them around me. Me as a person, I get.
Yeah, but you don't have to be.
I
You
get
don't
to
have
choose
to have them
who's
around
me.
you just to like let bygones
No,
be bygones.
if we're doing
like,
the tour, they're gonna be around me.
Yeah, but for how long?
For months. We're gonna be on stage, and to do this right, I gotta let bygones be bygones. But I'm in such a good place. I got so much great to think about moving forward. I don't want to think about the bad of the past. I mean, the world, everyone knows. I really, you know, I don't with Ashanti. We haven't spoken, I don't know how long. You know, with Ashanti, it is a delicate situation. She is a big part of Murder Inc. The fans want that. Everybody wants that. It's weird. Just how I have my version of what has happened with me and Ashanti, she has her version.
And I have my version.
We were still married, but we were separated when they were dating. I was used to it from the beginning, like him going and traveling. I just wasn't used to the women. That was like new, like, where did these hoes come from?
I have a version. No, I'm just kidding, I don't.
JJ, you have a version? No, JJ was a
JJ
baby.
was young.
JJ
I was old enough.
JJ was like months.
Yo, you kicked me out.
I was old.
And then also with his case that happened back in the day, he feels as if Ashanti wasn't supportive then. But Ashanti says otherwise. She says she was supportive. She did come to the court dates. She was there.
There was just stuff going on that I didn't like.
business-wise.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So for him to say, oh, she didn't ride out, I felt like, what are you talking about? I rolled till the wheels fell off, the car was on fire, the windshield was out, the muffler fell off. Like, what are you talking about? You know? And I just felt like it was very one-sided. You know? Oh, you don't want to throw up the M's. What do you mean?
And also, I think her relationship with Nelly affected him. Because in the Drink Champs interview, he talks about how he found out.
I can get past you wanting to be with Nelly.
Sounds like you didn't get past that. Just be honest.
And that probably really hurted his feelings at the time. And probably still does. But what I have to say about this whole situation is Irv Gotti needs to move on. You started an inappropriate relationship with someone who you signed, who you were the boss of. So as far as I'm concerned, the relationship shouldn't even have happened anyway. It shouldn't even have started. And this is a very valuable lesson to anybody in this situation. You don't have to be in the music industry to realize that things like this are things that people need to avoid and stay away from. Ashanti probably thought that Irv Gotti was always going to have good intentions for her and that he loved her. But now he's calling her out of her name. He's disrespecting her. He's basically telling her you will not get your masters back and laughing in her face. And this should just go to show you that you shouldn't mix business with pleasure.